let's jump into it. Just a Thought Podcast. We are back with another one, just talking sports. I got my homie P Talk Sports in the building, as usual. Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Giannis, updates on Giannis, updates on AD. We got John Cena's last match, where we got to talk about. We got to talk about his illustrious career. And is he top 10? We don't know. All right, and then we also got to talk about some UFC drama. UFC just went down, UFC 323, that big fight with Peter Yan and Merab. I was surprised by it, but we'll talk about it. Yes, we are back with another one, just talking sports. What's up, brother?
Let's go, man. I'm excited. Bro, end of the year, I was thinking to myself, man, like, hey, we're NBA, well into the thick of things now. Then we also got the UFC. Hey, last ESPN card, main event, pay-per-view. It's alright. It was an unbelievable card though still. Bruh. And then of course the boxing. Bruh, listen, the sports wars never stops, and we never stop either. We're back again. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're also going to talk about, guys, we also got to talk about what happened with the Michigan coach. All right, we're going to touch upon that as well. All right, and then we're going to talk about a little bit.
We love the drama too. Don't worry.
And then a little bit of Shador Sanders because he's shutting everybody up. We got to talk about Shador, man. Perfect timing. All right, let's get in. Yo, that's such a dope pose, yo. I love this pose. All right, bro, let's start with the league. Let's start with some NBA news, all right? So we got Giannis, all right? The trade saga begins. The Bucks are reportedly listing for offers for Giannis, but the superstar has publicity committed to Milwaukee's interviews. The tension between public loyalty and private is creating a buzz, all right? The Knicks, we know we can't get them, okay? So we have some potential teams like Miami, Golden State, Los Angeles Lakers. What do you think about this, man? What do you think about this trade? All right, can this be one of the biggest trades in NBA history? What do you think about Giannis?
Giannis, wherever he goes, hey, Milwaukee, you are going to get what is it? The community chest in Monopoly, that's what they call it. They are getting a lot back for Giannis. And that's what I'm saying for them. I know Giannis has been a soldier for that team. He's been unbelievable. But Milwaukee, you got to look out for yourself, bro. Because there's only very few times in NBA history where a franchise can get a generational talent like this, like Giannis. And if he gets traded, get the most that you possibly can. So if I'm them, I'm trying to talk to teams like the San Antonio Spurs. I'm looking at Stephon Castle, the way that he just cooked the Lakers. They've also got Dylan Harper, top 3 pick in the draft. They got De'Aaron Fox, you could possibly get. They got good role players like Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes. That's the team I'm trying to talk to if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks. Because I know if I trade Giannis, I'll get some first round picks back. I'll get some elite level guards or elite level guard in addition. And I can restart and rebuild my franchise with that. Because Giannis is a big loss, but I want to set myself up for the future. So if there's a team that he goes to, I'm going to say San Antonio Spurs is the favorite.
Yeah, man. If Giannis goes to the San Antonio Spurs, that's not fair. Victor and Giannis on the same court, on the same team, it's going to be scary hours for the West. I think, personally, you're right, bro. I think the Spurs have the best trade package for him. I want to say OKC too. I don't want to see him go to OKC. I don't think anybody wants to see them. OKC doesn't need any more resources, but they have the best trade package. Spurs and OKC, because OKC has all those trade picks from years ago. People got to understand that how valuable that is when it comes to these type of situations. So, me personally, I like San Antonio. I think that's the best move for him. But I think the only two that I can really see him going to, the only two teams, is probably OKC or Spurs. Now, does OKC give up all that talent? I don't think they should. I don't think it's necessary because of their run, and I think they have a good core team. It's literally the same team that went to the finals last year. But think about it. Giannis is somebody that, Every time he's on the court, he's going to give you 150%. Giannis is not
100%.
somebody that's not load management. He's not somebody that's going to take a back seat to anybody. No, he goes hard every time he's on the court. So I think this is beneficial to any team he goes to. You're not dealing with a Kawhi Leonard. You're not dealing with Anthony Davis. No disrespect to these guys. You're not dealing with a Paul George, right? You're dealing with Giannis, somebody that's going to give you 30 and 14 a night.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like with Giannis, I feel for OKC, if OKC had lost in the NBA Finals against the Pacers, I think they would have made a deal for Giannis. 100% in the offseason. Gone and got Giannis. But I think now, because of how well they are, 24-1 right now, greatest start tied in NBA history through 25 games, it's almost like, hey, we don't need Giannis anymore. But it would have been very different if they lost to the Pacers. But now, again, it opens the door for these teams who, hey, the Spurs, the Wemby window is open. It started right now. But also for them, do you bank on those young players? Or, again, do you make that big move and go, hey, Giannis, big fish, generational talent, hey, you only get one shot, like Eminem said. Go see what you can do. Maybe they do that. So that's what I'm interested to see.
And, man, I hate asking this question as a Knicks fan. I hate it. But what do you think the Knicks missed out on getting Giannis? Why do you think that trade did not go through?
I think that was just what Milwaukee, I think, found a way to convince Giannis to stay. Because, again, there's been murmurs from Brian Windhorst that, Giannis requested a trade in the offseason, and then they somehow managed to get him to stay. I think, for me, looking at what happened, I think it's because they signed both of his brothers, so they went, listen, we'll make the environment around here as good as possible. So I don't think it was more so about like what the Knicks didn't do. I think it was just more so about, the Milwaukee Bucks convincing Giannis to stay. But I would have loved to see Giannis go to the New York Knicks because, again, with all due respect to the Milwaukee Bucks fans, we want to see Giannis in the big market. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. Hey, I want to see superstars in big markets.
Yeah.
Like, bro, can you imagine Giannis in New York? Like, that name again. Bro, that brand starts to go through the roof. And I know Giannis is not that sort of guy. He doesn't really care about the fame, the fortune, all that sort. But, bro, listen, as NBA fans, I want to see Giannis in New York. I want to see Luka in LA. I want to see these players in these big markets. I'm sorry to small market teams, but listen, the NBA was built on stars. It was built on big cities. Let's get one of the biggest names into one of the biggest markets. That's what I would have loved to see.
Yeah. Listen, Giannis, if you ever come across this podcast, think about it. Think about New York. We got Nigerian food. We got Greek food. We got all the cultures in one city. Think about it, Giannis. All right? Listen, I kind of reflected on this deal and why New York did not go about getting Giannis. Listen, I get you got Karl Anthony Towns last year. We have a good winning percentage with Towns. But to me, to be honest, bro, I'm giving up the whole team for Giannis. I'm giving up Towns. I'm giving up McBride. Hell, I'll throw them Bridges in there. I'm giving up the team for Giannis because I know what he's going to do for us as a player. When I tell you, and I'll say this again, this dude goes 150%. New York, we need that. We have Jalen Brunson. No disrespect to Cat because Cat's been playing well. But just imagine another player like a Brunson, someone that is going to give them their all every time. Imagine another player on Brunson's side. I think that would have been such a big move for us. Did we miss the mark? Of course we did. I don't even think we have a trade package, to be honest. I think we missed out on an opportunity, and I think that's unfortunate. I think it's very unfortunate. Am I going to be upset to what team? Of course. Because 10 years ago, it was hard to get us a superstar in New York. Now, with our winning records and our history going to the playoffs these last 3 years, people want to come. And Giannis was like, dude, I want to come to a big city in New York and I want to play. So when somebody's pretty much throwing their career at you and you're not picking up on the signs, it's like we lost out on him. And that's not his fault. That's entirely New York Knicks' fault. So I can't even blame him for not wanting to come to New York at this point. Let me ask you this: would the Lakers or the Warriors instantly become the favorites if they to get Giannis? Do you think the Lakers and the Warriors are one of the teams that are favored to get Giannis? And what would that look like if they get Giannis?
Man, I'm thinking about if the Warriors do it, you're probably looking at, because money wise, you probably need Draymond in there or Jimmy Butler. So Draymond, Kuminga, some picks in there to get Giannis. But again, for me, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, nah. Or Draymond is 36. Kuminga, hey, he shot when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. The Lakers, probably what? Rui, Vincent, Vanderbilt, and some picks. Nah,
Yeah.
no. I want young pieces who have shown me great signs of potential. So, hey, I think the Lakers and the Warriors, unless it's a three-team deal, those teams are out of the equation because I think they just don't have enough to give the Milwaukee Bucks for the Milwaukee Bucks to fully reset. Because again, I just go back to it where if you're the Bucks, this is Giannis. You see what Kevin Garnett, what happened when he got traded with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was a MVP, a guy who was, before that, he wasn't a depoy, but elite level defensive player, one of the best players in the league. The return
Mm-hmm.
that they got. I think the Bucks, they look at what Gobert went for, they look at what Desmond Bain went for, and they're saying, hold on, that's those guys aren't even multiple time MVPs, NBA champions, NBA Finals MVP. We have that guy, and he wants to get traded? Yeah. Pay up. Pay up. If you want
Pay
him,
up.
pay up big. Not just with Draymonds and contract matches, pay up with guys who have high level potential.
Let me ask you this. A couple more questions before we move on. With Giannis, right? We've seen his frustration on Milwaukee for the past what 2 seasons. Do you think his frustration with Milwaukee is valid?
Oh, I think so. I think the frustration it makes sense because they had a team 2021, 2022. That's when they were the best version of themselves. And then ever since then, it feels like the team, they've just made the wrong move at every turn. Because for me, for example, in 2023, they lost in that first round to the Miami Heat. And that's where the whole spiral down started
Yeah.
because they lost that series. People forget Giannis didn't play 2 games. One of the games he played like half the game. They lost in 5, and then they just went, nah, you know what? We lost in the first round. We're gonna make panic moves. And it's like, bro, why would you just not come back the following season when you're healthy? Because after that, they fire Mike Budenholzer. They trade Drew Holiday. They go out there get Dame, which Dame just he did not fit that team because Dame. Bro, Drew Holiday's an elite level defender. Whether people want to admit it or not, he's an elite level offensive player. Again, not to the level
Mm-hmm.
of Dame, but I would take elite level defense with mid to pretty good offensive game alongside Giannis than a guard who, yeah, he scores great, but he can't defend. And you saw that Milwaukee Bucks team. They started to become an offensive juggernaut, but the defense where they hung their head on just went out the window. And that's where the downfall of that team really started. So, hey, I can see why Giannis would be frustrated. Why did they make all those panic moves? And now you end up in the situation where he loves Milwaukee, but also he has a legacy that he needs to build, a career that he needs to add some more accolades to before he leaves. And I don't think he can add to that while he's in Milwaukee.
Yeah, man. I think his frustrations are valid, bro. I think the Damian Lillard trade was a big mistake. No disrespect to Dame, right? Dame is one of the best scorers of this era. But it did not work from the beginning. It didn't work, and I can understand Giannis is frustrated. Listen, you brought a team to the championship in 2019. Then you make all these drastic moves, and you end up worse than your 2019 run. I'm frustrated. If I'm Giannis, I'm getting out of there. I'm taking my brothers with me, right? I think if you get a team, if a team gets Giannis, you have to bring the brothers. That's okay with me.
100.
I can
Yeah.
I can give the Nasus 5 minutes tonight. That's okay with me. But man, the frustration is valid, and I think
Yeah.
if I'm Milwaukee after I leave, after Giannis departs, now I'm looking to rebuild the team. Now I'm looking for those young scorers. Now I'm giving them a chance, and I think right now it's time for rebuild mode for Milwaukee. So this is the best opportunity for Giannis to get out. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna
100%.
end it on this question before and then we move on. And I think I know your answer, but I need to ask just in case. All right. So when Giannis the greatest buck of all time? And before you answer that question, there's Kareem and there's Oscar. Remember that. Is Giannis the greatest Milwaukee Buck we have ever seen?
Yes. 100%. 100%. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I was gonna say Giannis Bucks. He basically, I'm gonna say it now. Giannis is the Bucks. Much love to Kareem, but hey, if you ask someone right now, where do you think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's where do you think his legacy is? Majority of people would say Lakers. And I know Oscar's there too, but Giannis, I don't know if it's recency bias, but what he's achieved, bruh, he is Mr. Milwaukee. I give Giannis all the credit in the world, and Giannis, whether you leave now or you leave in 2 years, 3 years, you are going to get a statue in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. No doubts about it.
100%. Well deserved. I agree with your answer. He's the greatest Buck. He definitely deserves a statue. That 2019 run, MVP, defensive MVP, finals MVP, unmatched. 2020 championship. All right.
So,
On to some more news, some AD drama. We talked about it a little bit last episode. So, as we know, the Mavs front office is exploring the market for AD. Rumors indicate that they want value without their roster. So, they want some value for AD. I don't know why. All right, and then some teams that are interested in AD, the Pistons, the Raptors, the Hawks, and other lottery teams are reported exploring options. AD's combination of size, defense, and scoring makes him extremely valuable. What do you think about these AD rumors going on, and what is your opinion about AD?
nah, dog, I've given up on AD. I said this in one month. I've given up on AD, bro. Nah. Listen, you can't fool me. You fool me once, okay. Fool me twice, okay. I defended you twice. I'm not defending you 3 times. I'm done with AD, bro.
You
Again,
have.
I know what AD can be, and I feel like because I know what AD can be and what he has been when he's been healthy, I'm still so in love with that idea. However, at age 32, you were limping through your 20s. You've already been limping through your 30s. And I'm looking at you being 32. Do I think it's going to get better when you're 33, 34, 35? No, I think it's only going to get worse. There's going to be more ailments that will take you longer to recover from. So if I'm a team like the Pistons, hey, my boys, Cade Cunningham and them, nah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm not trying to give up all those young pieces for maybe getting, peak AD back again. No. Other teams, Raptors as well, I'm not really giving up Scotty Barnes or Brandon Ingram to go get maybe AD. I think, again, it's just the injuries. Yes, we're also in love. We know what AD can be, but at this point in time in 2025, I don't think I could honestly justify going to make a move for AD and trading, an elite level young piece for a guy who has just shown me he can be great. It's just he's never there enough to show me he can be great consistently.
I'm gonna rage bait you a little bit. I'm gonna get you a little angry. So let's say the Pistons get AD. What does that look like moving forward?
First round exit, bro. And after losing the first round, it's another 2 years of misery because I think AD's got 1 or 2 years left on his deal. And again, AD is a great player when he's there. My only problem is I'm not messing with a great young core that's the number 1 seed in the East to go get the maybe AD. Again, there is not enough evidence of him always being there for me to say, yeah, let's go make that move. If you were making a move, let's switch it up. If it was Giannis, like you said before with the Knicks, send everyone. Send everyone. I don't care. But because it's AD and there's too many injuries that have happened, that's where I'm reserved because again, if he turns out amazing, like Kawhi 2019 for the Raptors, oh my god, this is gonna be. But again, AD just hasn't shown us that he can stay healthy for consistent periods of time.
Yeah, man. I don't think Detroit is the move, right? That doesn't make any sense. Like you said, to go back. You're the number one team in the East. Why does it make sense to trade for someone that's only going to be there 25% of the time? And I'm saying 25% because I like AD. I should say 10%, but I'm gonna give him 25. I don't think it's worth it for the Pistons. You have a young core and a Cade Cunningham that's leading that team to greatness. I think that's just only gonna set them back. I don't think that is a good move. I do think, not the Raptors either. I do think teams like Pelicans, right? I would like to see him go back to the Pelicans. You know, Pelicans could be good. The Clippers could be good. Teams that are rebuilding now, not that are trying to make a push for the playoffs. And this is out of respect for AD. I want to see AD in a playoff team, of course. All right, we've seen his greatness, what happened in the bubble. But at this point, we're not getting bubble AD back. We're not going to get that type of player back. He has become, his career has become such a joke that he's became a meme. He's became a
Day to
meme
day.
day to day. And if I'm the Pistons, I move past. I look at this like as a joke. Okay, AD wants to come here. That's great. We move on. I'm not picking up AD. I'm not. He's not even on my scouting report because this wouldn't make sense. So
What'd you do if your Knicks said right now they want to get AD? What would you
you
say?
know what? I heard a rumor and then I was so happy that it was just a lie. Um, I would be upset, bro, because this is like Amari Stoudemire all over again. Stoudemire
Mm,
played what 2 exceptional years for the Knicks, done really good numbers. But what happened with Amari? A couple, what? Maybe a season before we traded him, Amari was injured. We got to Jeremy Lin, right? We got all these bench players taking the role of a starter. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that again. I'm already traumatized from the Amari Carmelo experience. I love Melo. He's one of my favorite players. But I don't want to see that happen again. I don't think it makes sense. I'd rather just keep Cat. If that's a straight up trade AD for Cat, I'm keeping Cat. I can't do it. No disrespect, AD. All right, so I kind of said the Clippers or a team like the Clippers or the Pelicans. Which team is the best fit for AD in terms of a immediate championship potential?
Oh, what team could AD elevate to a championship?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I actually got to say the Detroit Pistons. I have to say it because I think if you again, it depends what would be involved in the deal. But if you managed to keep Jalen Duren and you went Cade, because I imagine Harris would be in that trade. So if you went Cade, Robinson, who else would you have in that starting lineup? Asor could stay in that lineup. AD and Duran. Defensively, you're looking good. Offensively, the spacing is a little bit iffy, but defensively, you would be unbelievable for sure. And I'm looking at Cade, and the way that pick and roll with Jalen Duran's working, you add AD into that mix. Oh Lord, Lob City all over again, essentially. And again, both those guys, well, mainly AD. AD in the mid range, I think, could actually help out as well, a little bit more spacing wise. But yeah, I think Pistons would be the team I would love to see him at the most.
Mm. Oh man, I don't wish that on you, man. I really don't.
I don't want him though. Let me make that clear. That's where he would fit. I don't want him though.
I don't
Hey,
wish.
AD, great player. I don't want you at Pistons though. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, before we move on from the NBA, I wanted to touch a little bit on we're getting closer and closer to All Star Month. Who are your potential All Stars as of right now?
Man, hey, show some love to what's our boy Jalen Johnson over there in Atlanta, first time All Star. If Jalen Johnson is not an All Star, bruh, I won't talk about basketball no more. That guy is playing out of his mind. Like, hey, Trae Young, step aside. There's a new face of the franchise. So yeah, Jalen Johnson in terms of new All Star, he's got to be first time All Star. Denny Abdir, I think he's going to be a first-time All-Star as well. Franz Wagner, he's injured now. Hopefully that doesn't affect his prospects, but I think Franz Wagner, if he's healthy come All-Star, yeah, he's for sure going to be in there as well. Jaylen Brown, can I say something really quickly? Jaylen Brown, I'm sorry, man. I am so sorry, because with Jason Tatum out, I went Jaylen Brown. I don't think Jaylen Brown's going to be elite level. Dude's averaging 30 points per game nearly. Jaylen Brown, I'm sorry, bro. So he'll be All-Star as well. And then your Knicks, you guys got two good dudes as well. Then show love as well. So Kane Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Pistons are getting two All-Stars.
Ooh, you think Duren? You know what?
Duren gonna get it. Hey. He's sort of got, the thing with Duren is a little bit like, the numbers have gone down a little bit from where they were, in that first little part of the season. But if the Pistons can stay as the number one seed, I think we might get two All-Stars. We might get two All-Stars.
Yeah, man, because you know what I'm thinking about? I think he can. Because I'm thinking about this. You remember that time when 4 Atlanta Hawks were in the All-Star? Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Paul Millsap. Come on, man. Jalen Duren's putting up the numbers, bro. And, he's become more versatile than he was last year. We all thought he was just going to be a lob guy. We all thought we were comparing him to Dwight Howard, but we see he has more in his bag, right? He can dribble, he can pass. I think he deserves a spot. I definitely think he deserves a spot. What about for the West? Who are some first-time All-Stars for the West?
Yeah, so I put Abdi in there. So I think Steph will make it in there. Shea, of course. Luka, of course. Jokic, of course. KD.
Reeves?
I think
Reeves?
Good could make it in there. Who's that?
Austin Reeves?
Austin Reeves, yeah. Austin Reeves, hey, with LeBron there a little bit, his numbers have been dipping, but I think Austin Reeves could be in there as well. The one I wanted to ask you about, you know how the format works. It's 50% fan, 25% media, and then 25% players. Hey, I love my boy. LeBron, people know this, bro. LeBron James might not be an All-Star this season. And I think we need to start coming to terms with it a little bit, because let's be honest here. Let's be absolutely honest. Fan vote, 50%. LeBron will be number one, because wait, LeBron's LeBron. But if I'm a media member, there is no way, if based off what I've seen off this first month of the season, that LeBron James, if any media member puts LeBron top 5 for forwards in the first month or 2 months of the season, don't ever allow them to vote for anything ever again. Same thing as players, because again, LeBron, let's just be honest. Let's separate what LeBron was to what he is now. LeBron has not been a top 5 forward in the West. Absolutely not. You could even argue that he hasn't even been top 10. So fan vote, he's going to be number one. But the other two, that's what's worrying me, because it's your weighted average determines whether you'll be a starter. I don't know if I'm confidently sitting here and saying LeBron is going to be is going to be starting the All-Star game.
My brother, this is probably something that's been hard for me to agree with, can come to terms with. LeBron James does not deserve to be an All-Star. He does not deserve to be an All-Star. And we can't be that biased when somebody's scoring 10 points a game, 13 a game. This is something we have not seen. But if we are going to do a fan vote, and obviously he's number one on the list, how much is that going to impact the All-Star? Because I'm looking at guys that should be All-Stars over LeBron. I can name like 5. I don't think personally he should be. But if we're going to say this is his final season, then he has to be. Because 100%. You look at D. Wade, you look at Dirk Nowitzki. In 2019 or 18, I believe it was, they were an All-Star with bad numbers. This is where we need to really think. Like you said, we really need to come to reality and really sit down and analyze if this man should be an All-Star. And I'm saying it. We're both saying it as LeBron fans. LeBron should not be an All-Star, dog.
Man, it's going to be sad. Hey, bro,
you know how hard it is for me to admit that, bro?
Bruh, this is tough for all of us, bro. But I'll be real with you. Listen, if I'm LeBron, again, this is just me. If I was LeBron, if I didn't make the All-Star game, hey, fellas, this is my last season. And then they'll give me
But he can't do
they'll
that,
give
though.
me the honorary All-Star after that.
He can't do that, though. Actually, he can. He has to make that. He has to say that before the All-Star. But
Yeah,
if he set, so let's say he doesn't make it, right? And then he's like, yo, I quit. That's going to look bad in his legacy. Because then you're going to have those people like, oh, he couldn't. Michael Jordan was an all-star when he left. And I can't take Jordan fans. I'm a Jordan fan, but I'm more of a LeBron. I can't take that. So I hope that is not the case. He pieces out right after he doesn't make an all-star team because that's going to look horrible. Even though the NBA All-Star is a joke, it's going to look horrible on his part. So I hope that does not happen. I hope that does not happen. All right. Let's move on to some NFL. We only have one NFL topic today. Let's move on. So, we got the homie perfect timing. Shador Sanders. Yes. My man just keeps proving haters wrong, bro. So, Rookie of the Week, Shador's status demonstrates poise under pressure and ability to read defense. All right? He was named the starting QB ahead of more experienced players, creating a media spotlight. All right, Shador's growth under coaching signals potential for a long-term success. Is Shador already the face of the Cleveland Browns? Can we say that?
No. Whoa, hey. Whoa. Shador's not the face of the Browns yet. Hey, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. Let me give some love to him. He's about to break the all-time sack record. Hey, Michael Strahan, step aside. Hey, it's Myles Garrett's about to own that. So I'll ease up there. Myles Garrett's still the face of the franchise. But as the QB, oh yeah. He's ready to take that team somewhere because defensively they got to unlock. That Browns defense is good. They're legit. What they're missing though is offense. And I think Shador Sanders, people can say what they want. Oh, it's a Titans team that was struggling that he put yards up on. Okay, how come all these other dudes didn't do that? He did that. So give him credit. Because again, don't just keep moving the goalposts every single time. Oh, well, he did this. Oh, well, he did it against a bad team. Well, he did. Don't keep moving the goalposts. Set one standard, and when he achieves it, give him his credit. Don't just look for ways to always diminish him. That's what annoys me. That's what pisses me off. Don't keep moving goalposts. But Shador, bruh, listen, hey, to me, he's shown that he can be the real deal. And again, I'm not trying to say he's Tom Brady. He's only just begun. But still, he's shown flashes and signs where, hey, Myles Garrett, you've got it right now. Unlock is the face of the franchise. But Shador, as he said, give me an off season. That's his team after. Give him an off season. That could be his team after.
Yeah, I love that he's proven everyone wrong, bro. I love it. Could Shador outplay every quarterback drafted ahead of him?
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. I think from the QBs that I've seen, Jackson Dart was good for sure. I'll give Jackson Dart some love. I think he outplayed Cam Ward. Not even I think. He definitely outplayed Cam Ward in that Titans vs. Browns matchup for sure. So I think of the QBs drafted above, Shador, for me, just is the one that's looked the best. Even though he's only had 3 games, he's the one that's looked the best to me. He's looked the most comfortable. I like the way, although he's not as mobile as a guy like a Jackson Dart, for example, to me, his arm is way better for sure.
Yeah.
And again, these guys all had time where they were into the starting job. Like Jackson Dart was within 2 weeks. He replaced Russell Wilson. Cam Ward was from the beginning. Dylan Gabriel should never have had it over Shador ever. Like we just learned that right now. So I'm taking Shador. He's gonna be, hey, people can say I'm being biased. I don't care. Shador Sanders is gonna be the best quarterback from this draft class. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm willing to die on that hill.
Hands down. All right, and last question on Shador. Do you think Shador stays with... Do you think he is a one-team player? Do you think Shador stays with the Browns? Do you see him being a franchise player that they develop?
Hey, I think so. Because I think, Shador, with these QBs, bro, they get paid so much money, yeah, you don't need to leave. You see Patrick Mahomes, he's living in Kansas City. He's a big-time star, but he's in Kansas City. I get all due respect to Kansas City. I'm not trying to say anything about your guys' city, but it's not New York. It's not LA. But with the money that these QBs make, you could build a whole lifestyle somewhere else. And in Cleveland especially, I think because Cleveland is a city that QBs have just been, it's been a revolving door, in, out, in, out. So if Shador can go there and get wins, get the multiple winning seasons, take them to, again, an AFC championship game. If Shador wins them a Super Bowl,
bro,
keys to the city, anything he wants in Cleveland for the rest of his life. If he wins them, even if he took them to the AFC championship game, he will probably still get all those things as well.
do you think he'll get LeBron treatment if he wins the championship? Because you remember that is the graveyard for QBs.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Bro, if you want them a chip, because again, you gotta think about it. They've had so many QBs that, bro, no one's ever stuck, and that's why it's been known as where QBs go to die. If he is the dude that takes them to the promised land, statue, keys to the city, everything, because I think it's just because Cleveland has they got their NBA championship. They got that. But American football, I don't live in America, but I know American football, the love that people have for that is different. Yeah. And if a QB brings you that, especially in Cleveland, put him and LeBron statues next to each other with Jim Brown. They'll all have their statues together. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. All right, let's move on from the NFL. We're going to keep it football, though. I'm pretty sure y'all know what happened, the Michigan football coach scandal. Sherrone Moore, former Michigan assistant coach, arrested and jailed this December. So December, not too long ago. A couple days ago, bro. Incident details involved in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Reports also indicate he arranged DoorDash deliveries from Plan B to the school, creating shockwaves across social media and national news. All right? University and recruiting impact, questions about recruitment practices, NCAA, and potential impact on bowl games. Bro, this is a crazy story. All right? So, yes, and let me ask you this question, man, because we don't really know too much about it. It just happened not too long ago. Do you think Sherrone Moore, the coach, the former Michigan coach, single-handedly destroyed Michigan football reputation?
Bruh, they did that to themselves 2 years ago already. When they had the signal stealing, they ruined their own reputation 2 years ago. But this definitely doesn't help that, bruh. Because, man, come on, bruh. We've talked about this before. All these athletes, coaches in sports, fellas, millions. We're dealing with millions, M's, generational wealth, and bruh, everyone's just throwing it away for the craziest things. We got people throwing it away for gambling, and now we got people throwing it away. Stephen A. Smith said a word starts with P. We can't say it here, but they're throwing it away. Everything, bruh, like,
bro, you have to have the confidence you have to have first being you have a wife, right? Then you have a relationship on the side with one of the staff members that works at the school that you coach at. Another thing, you're a D1 coach, you're a Division I coach in football, American football in the US. You're looked at as a celebrity, regardless if it's the trashiest D1 football program. You're still looked at as a celebrity. Mm-hmm. Having DoorDash deliver Plan B to your work, the story doesn't get any crazier than that, man. Do you think Sherrone Moore, the former Michigan coach, do you think he will be sentenced for a long time? How do you think this plays out?
Because I don't know how it would turn out legally. So I don't know what would happen. So I think the threatening stuff, I don't know what sort of sentence he'll get. What I do know, just the main part, in terms of being a football coach, yeah. It might be, he'll be lucky because again, we've seen people blackballed forever, and never coach again. And especially when it's something like this, bro. Hey, brother, you might enjoy those 8 mils that you got from them because I think that's probably the last big paycheck you'll see from college football. Because again, as good as you are as a coach, you coached at Michigan, bruh. It's a whole different ball game when legal stuff starts to play into it. Because, bro, like if I'm a college, I don't really want that reputation. I love winning, but I don't want that stuff associated with it. So again, I don't know what the legal stuff will end up like, but in terms of coaching wise, yeah, he's looking at least 10 years of not coaching in NCAA. It probably never, to be fair.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna say the same thing as you. I don't know what is gonna play out in this situation. He'll be lucky to coach a girls' flag football team. He'll be lucky to coach a flag football team. What do you think this says about Michigan? So moving forward from this case, how does Michigan go about this, and how can Michigan prevent how can Michigan prevent recruiters not coming? So how does Michigan? Let me put it like this: how does Michigan save their reputation, and how do they continue to get football players to come to their school?
Man, at this point in time for them, the only selling point I can think of is, hey, you guys get to play in the big game against Ohio State. Use that. Use the reputation of on the football, and then also utilize sort of look at all the players that we've had. They've gone to the NFL. That's a selling point in itself. That's really at this point all they sell. But also in addition, I'm thinking about it now where Michigan's a pretty big time school. You can
Mm-hmm.
also, I'm looking at a guy who's in coach for a while, John Gruden, because John Gruden's not going back to the NFL anytime soon because he got the lawsuit against him. There's no way he's coaching again in the NFL. Hey, if I'm Michigan, let's get a big time name like that into the program. Or let's get a name like Urban Meyer into the program. Just names that are recognized by college, like every single American footballer that can help you bring that reputation back. Because again, Sherrone Moore came over. I think he took over from Jim Harbaugh because Harbaugh went to coach
Yep.
the Chargers. So I think the way to rebuild that. Hey, Sherrone, it was great. You were an assistant. We elevated you. But because of where we are right now in this situation, we can't really. I don't think they can have that same luxury of getting one of those D coordinators or offensive coordinators to take over. This time it needs to be someone who's proven, whether it be in college or NFL. And I'm going and leaning over to the side of getting someone who was proven in the NFL, bring them there, rebuild the program, rebuild that reputation so that it's not a signal stealers and coach with an affair. It's now, damn, they got John Gruden coaching. I want to go there because he's
Right.
coaching the NFL. So that's the best
Right.
way.
All right. And one more question before we move on. So, with all this happening, what does NCAA need to do? What does NCAA need to do in order to keep, a good reputation when it comes to football? Should coaches go through an exam before they get the job? How do you think they can better this situation?
I hate to say it to Sherrone Moore, but yeah, the best way to deter future actions, similar actions, you have to throw the book at the first offender very hard because that's the way that you deter again people doing that in future. And whether it's a suspension from that Michigan gives him, and they say. Obviously, he's just been fired. But let's say NCAA comes out and says, Sherrone Moore, you're not coaching. You're blackballed for the next 10 years. You can't coach anything. NCAA. Hey, if I'm a coach in future in any other, I'm never putting myself in that situation because again, the money these coaches get now, you're probably looking at about $5 to $10 million. If you're head coach for one of these teams, so 10 years, that's $80 million I'm throwing away just for having an affair. That's not worth it. So you'll see. I think again, I hate to be that guy, but Sherrone Moore, he's going to be made an example out of for sure because again, that's the only way you can deter people doing it going forward.
Yeah. My final thought on Sharon Moore. Sharon, don't drop the soap, brother. Hey, let's move on to some. Let's move on to some fighting, man. All right, yo. So we're 2 weeks away from possibly Jake Paul's last time on Earth. We're 2 weeks away. If y'all don't know Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, we're still trying to question Jake Paul why he's taking this fight. So I wanted to ask you, bro. We see Jake Paul in all these training videos because Jake Paul is clickbait. We see him training. He's up to 215 now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think this fight is going to turn out like? Because a lot of people, a lot of boxing experts saying Anthony Joshua is going to KO him within the first 10 seconds. Do you think Jake Paul, you think there is even a technique or a method that Jake Paul can go into just staying alive for the first 2 rounds? Do you think Jake Paul has a chance to stay alive with Anthony Joshua for the first 2 rounds? Do you think it's possible?
Bro, at least Jake Paul runs, like literally runs. This is over in round 1 for sure. Because, bro, you don't understand. I don't think he understands what he's dealing with. AJ Anthony Joshua. And, bro, like, I know Jake, they had that press conference. Anthony Joshua was being joking, all this, all that. Yeah, laughing a little bit. He did that with Ngannou as well. Bro, AJ gets the fight week. It's a switch. And this, I don't think Jake quite understands. AJ's not messing around, bro. Because AJ's last fight, he got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. Knocked out. The worst we've ever seen him knocked out. You think Joshua's trying to come in there and make a fight competitive against a YouTuber? Jake, respect, you've done well as a boxer, but I'm still, bro, compared to Anthony Joshua, you're a YouTuber. Anthony Joshua, unless Jake comes out there and runs, Shadow Realm entry, number 104. You're gone, for sure. Yeah. AJ's putting him to sleep badly.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. And let me ask you this. AJ accepting this fight. I asked you this before, but AJ accepting this fight. Does this give him some type of beneficial pleasure? Do you think this even does anything to his career? Or do you think this is a win-win for Jake Paul, regardless if he loses or he wins this fight? Who does it benefit more?
It benefits, this fight benefits Jake way 100%. More. Because even if Jake gets knocked down in the first round, bro, we've seen it already. All these people who've been disrespecting Jake over the last couple of years have come out and said, hey, respect to you for actually taking this fight against AJ. Because, again, you could have gone out there and fought some more 55-year-olds. You're fighting someone who, at 36, this is AJ still as a heavyweight in the best shape of his career, best form of his career still. So, even for me, again, I wouldn't say Jake is my, let me play into the bird stuff here, cup of tea. But you have to give him the respect, bro. Because, again, whether you win or you lose, you're going up against Anthony Joshua. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Jake will get credit out of this regardless of the result, which I think this is why he's doing this. It's intentional.
Here's my ultimate question to you. I just want to ask you this. Because we know if Jake wins, this is rigged, right? We know it's fixed. What would it take for you to believe that this fight isn't fixed if Jake Paul wins? What would it take for you to believe that?
Bruh, I want to say, okay, hear me out here. This is not me, again, don't take this with a grain of salt. Anthony Joshua is not necessarily, from what we've seen in the last couple of fights, it's not like Anthony Joshua is unhittable. Anthony Joshua is hittable. I'm come out and say it. He's hittable. Mm-hmm. If Jake came out there, which there is a scenario where I see him doing this, just sort of going, well, I'm probably gonna get knocked out if I try to box with him anyway. He comes out, haymaker, haymaker,
Haymakers.
haymaker, flip. Okay, I'll believe that then, because I'll know it'll be a lucky punch. That's the only way he wins. Lucky punch. That's it. If we go points, AJ. But if it happens the way that I think it's gonna happen, AJ first round. Yeah. But Jake, throwing haymakers first minute and clipping AJ, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Landing a lucky punch. Yeah, that's the only way I see.
And let me ask you this: if Jake Paul loses this fight, which he's going to, if Jake Paul loses this fight, what does this do for his boxing legacy?
He gets the credibility of having fought a big-time legit boxer. Especially if AJ goes out there and wins another world title in 2026, you already know what Jake's going to be doing. He'll say, hey, well, listen, I fought against the world heavyweight champ. I've done that now. And again, no matter how this fight shapes out, like, Jake is going to have marketing and promotional material going forward, because anytime he fights anyone, bro, he'll say that I've got the ultimate equalizer. I fought a pro boxer. I fought the heavyweight that you guys wanted me to. Even if I got knocked out, AJ knocked out 27 other people. So what does that say about them? If I'm a bum because he knocked me out, what does that make them? They have to be bums too, right? So no matter what happens, he gets a gain out of this. So it's smart. Not smart that he's about to might die, because Anthony Joshua's that guy. But if he stays alive after this, yeah, he's going to be able to promote his fights even more going forward.
Yeah, like I said before, man, if he does stay alive and we get to see him breathe after this, I think he should fight McGregor. I think that's the only fight we want to see. And nobody likes the two. I think just put two douchebags in one ring. I think it draws a lot of money. I think that's the best fight for Jake. And what about AJ? Will we see that fight from Tyson Fury if after this fight with Jake Paul? Or do you think AJ should call it quits after 36 years old?
Nah, I think AJ, for me, it's worked out perfectly for him, because I think you beat Jake Paul right now, knock him out, I think first round for sure. I'm just going to anticipate it's going to be first round. And then Fabio Wardley, a fellow Brit of his, just won the WBC belt, I think, beat Joseph Parker.
Right.
And of all the heavyweights, I mean, well, Usyk's got all the other belts. Usyk's already beat AJ twice. But if I'm AJ, let me go fight Wardley. Wardley's very beatable. I think AJ can beat Fabio Wardley. Get that WBC belt. Now you become the A side for that fight with Fury, because now you got the belt. And now, so I'm thinking, for me, they haven't come out and said this, but I think AJ, you fight Jake Paul right now in December. You come back in March, you fight Wardley, beat Wardley, get that WBC belt, and then set us up for August. Wembley Stadium, biggest fight in British boxing history. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury for the WBC World Heavyweight title. $100 million each. Set for life. They probably fight again in the beginning of 2027. That's when he'll call it quits. That's the plan for AJ, I think, for sure.
I like your prediction. I like that. And this is going to be the biggest fight in British history. In UK history. I know, listen, Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn had one crazy historical fighting history in UK, but nothing is going to beat this AJ versus Fury. And it's going to do numbers. Imagine we get 2 pay-per-views that summer. We get the White House with the UFC, then we get Wembley in August.
Money talks.
Woo! Money talks, bro. Money talks. All right, man. Let's move on, bro. And we're going to keep it boxing one more time. Bro, we're going to go UFC. Sorry. We're going to go UFC. Francis Ngannou has made another challenge to John Jones for the White House card. Do you think this is possible? And who do you got winning this fight if these two ever meet in the octagon?
Man, I would have loved to see John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. That was my bucket list since 2022. I was like, I pray to God we see this fight. But I've been watching, listening to interviews from Francis, Dana White this week, and it sounds like Dana White, he's not in the Francis Ngannou business anymore. So I think any hopes of ever seeing that fight, bruh, I think are out the window. But if it would have happened, let's just go to a hypothetical scenario, Prime John, Prime Ngannou. I've said this before. Prime John against anyone, give me John Jones. However, John Jones at age 38 is where it gets a little bit different because I don't know what the reflexes and everything is like. But yeah, if John fought Francis when they were both at their absolute best, John is beating him 100%. 100%.
You seem so confident. I'm gonna agree with you, but it's not gonna be that easy. It's not.
Yeah, it would be easy. Yeah.
What is the deal with Dana White and Francis? Why do you think that situation has played out like that? Because they have a history of having beef, right? Francis Ngannou leaves. He does a big event with Tyson Fury. He does stuff with the PSL,
PFL. Yeah, PFL.
PFL. Why is that beef? Why has that become such a big issue between Dana White and Francis Ngannou?
Man, Dana White, we were talking about it before with 50 Cent, King of Petty. Dana White, if 50 Cent's number one, King of Petty, Dana White's number two. And I think I saw a clip, Dana White said this. He said, if I'm your friend, I'm the bestest friend that you'll ever have. But if I'm your enemy, I'll be the worst enemy you ever had. And he lives up to that motto and that slogan because, bruh, like him and Francis he said that he was extremely hard on Francis. When Francis came into the UFC, then there was an incident that happened where, Francis allegedly put his hands on Dana White, put his hands on his chest and say, hey, pause, hey, hold up, man. Like, kind of pushed him, whatever the case may be. We don't know if that's true. But after that's when Dana just didn't mess with Francis anymore. And then now, like, with the contract issues, why Francis left the UFC was because he wanted certain things. Dana was not willing to give them to him. He ended up PFL. And now, I think it's got to the point where Dana, I think, is at that zone with Francis where it's worst enemy. Where even if Francis and John, which we know would be the biggest MMA heavyweight fight of all time.
Yeah.
Like, he's out on it because he goes, nah, dog, like, nah, Francis, hey, enemy, bro. I don't care I don't care how much money this fight would generate. I am not doing business with Francis, which for us as fans sucks. We don't get to see the super fight, but hey, I guess Dana White's just living up to what Dana White said.
Yeah. Listen, if I'm Dana White, I got this big card coming up next year at the White House. You don't need to be friends with Francis. You could be a business partner with Francis. I'm trying to put on the greatest card that sports has ever seen. So just banger after banger. I'm like, even the prelims are gonna have crazy matches. If I'm Dana White, I'm going to consider doing business with Francis because you can arguably make more than $50 million from that fight. John Jones, Francis Ngannou in the White House. And listen, this might not make the episode, but listen, Americans love when two black dudes fight. All right, that is. I don't know if I'm gonna bleep that out. It might, or might not. But you make money. And if I'm Dana White, man, I'm trying to make a legacy out of this fight because this is arguably the greatest card in history. You're doing it at the White House. So I would want to see Francis Ngannou and John Jones. And I'm not just saying this as a UFC fan. I'm saying this as a fighting fan in general. Why not? The two best of the best. You saw what Francis did to a lot of competitors. Stipe, Rosenstrike, which is one of the funniest fights I've ever seen. Alex Overeem. He has the potential, and I think he is probably the one that shakes up John Jones a little bit. I don't think he beats him, but I think he's the best opponent for John Jones.
Yeah. Hey, Dana, make it happen. Make it happen, Dana.
Make it happen, Dana. Come on, man. All right, man. We'll stay on UFC before we move on. Peter Yan versus Merab, man. Did not expect it to play out like that. What is your opinion on the fight, and what do you think about Peter Yan with this victory?
Man, Piotr, no mercy Yan, bro. Oh my god. I have never been So happy because I love PLDR. Like I've loved him since the first fight I ever watched him was against Jimmy Rivera. I think it might have been 2018 or 2019, and that's when I fell in love with it because I was like, bruh, this guy, like as a boxer, as a striker, is unbelievable. But we saw that first Merab fight, and we saw how Merab with the pace, the pressure, the takedowns, 50 takedown attempts, and I'm thinking to myself, you go into a second fight and saying, bruh, like Merab's been doing this to everyone else since then as well. What can Yan do? And then Jan going to the body, just stuffing every single takedown. Merab gets clinches, he's elbowing his forearms, breaking the lock, getting into the box. And listen, bro, like, if you have to stand there against Yan and you can't take him down and you just have to box him, bro, you get that result there where he'll just wipe the floor with you. And, bro, that's, to me, probably one of the best championship, wins I've seen. It has to be top 5, possibly even top 2 or top 3. I'm only thinking of like McGregor beating Eddie Alvarez as the only one I'd probably say off the top of my head right now. I would say is better. That's how impressive Yarden was.
Yeah, man, I was actually surprised because nobody had him winning this fight. But Jan is a trailblazer, bro. And the thing, Merab is too. That's what made the fight really interesting. But I think in the beginning of the fight, we saw Merab comfortable because Merab is what? Somebody that goes into the fight. He's energetic. He's looking for ways he's like a mad scientist. But that wasn't the case. Everything was reversed. Everything was stopped. It was like Jan was on his Wheaties that day, bro. And I personally think with this victory, I think Jan will probably go on a 2 or 3 streak win with the championship. But a rematch needs to take place. And here's why.
100%.
Here's why. The first one was phenomenal. The second one, like you said, was one of the greatest performances you've seen. And I could put that up there as 2. I won't put that top 2, but I'll put that in the top 10 for sure. When you have a performance in those 2 fights, there needs to be a third one. My question to you is, can Jan put on that same performance that he did in the second fight against Merab?
I think I would be, if you ask me who I think wins that third fight, I would say Jan. Purely because I look at Merab, and I don't want this to sound like I'm disrespecting Merab. Merab, to me, his greatest skill is the pace, right? Which is pace, melting you down. Jan showed us in the first fight and the second fight, I believe, that he can stuff the takedowns and force Merab to be a striker. The first fight, again, Jan said it for the last 2 years since that first fight. I couldn't be offensive. You saw I can be defensive because he only took me down, I think, the first fight 3 or 4 times. Then second fight only took him down twice. So he said, bro, I can defend his takedowns easy. I just couldn't strike in the first fight because my arm was hurt. Second fight, he's not hurt. And we see what happens when he can defend the takedowns and force him to strike. So I'm looking at it in this third fight. Merab, when the pace is, he can't overwhelm me with pace and he's forced to stand. He's getting beat by most of these dudes. And Jan, to me, is the only dude that's shown so far he can actually stay on his feet. And he beat him pretty handily, 4-1, So I'm looking at the third fight and saying, I don't know what Merab can do better. Because Merab's striking is not the greatest. As a takedown, even with the takedowns, he's not really a guy that takes you down and holds you down like with one takedown, like the Habibs, like the Islams. It's the 20th or 25th takedown. That's the one that actually puts you down for a long time because that's when you're fatigued. But Jan, because you couldn't take him down, I don't see what Merab can change before that third fight for me to actually sit here and say I think Merab wins. So I think Jan beats him again.
Bro, I usually agree with you. I'm gonna disagree. I think Merab wins. The thing about Merab is Merab can't go in. He always jump starts, and that's one of his biggest downfalls. And I think Jan picked up on that. Okay, this dude's gonna jump start again. I have to keep the fight. I have to keep it. I have to methodically change the fight. I have to make it a pace. I have to make him be patient. And I think when you make Merab be patient, I think that's when you beat him. I think if Jan slips up one time and forgets that train of thought, he loses. That's how dangerous Merab is. I don't think Merab can improve like you said, I don't think he can improve on the next fight, but I also think he can be smarter. Okay, let's not jump. Let's not go straight for the takedown. All right, let's not jump rush to start the fight. Let's go in there with a clear thought. Let's see what he's going to try to throw at me because he's going to slow down the fight like he did the second fight. And I think that's what Merab needs to do. I think Merab is untouchable, bro. I think this is one fight he just slipped up and he lost. I don't think Jan beats him the next fight. I don't think so.
That's it. That's it. Let's go. Let's
This
go.
Is gonna be a little bit of a rage bait question. People might be pissed that I'm gonna ask you this question, but I don't give a damn. Is Jan officially the bantamweight GOAT after this fight?
Oh no. Nah. Merab. Give me Merab
Okay.
number one. Yeah.
Okay.
Merab number one. TJ. Actually no. Merab number one. Aljo number two. Actually no. Merab number one. Dominic Cruz number two. TJ number three. Aljo 4. Jan 5. Top 5 bantamweights right there.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bro, this is what I've been waiting for. Yo, guys, we got to talk about the WWE. That man, John Cena, all right? His last match is tomorrow, December 13th, on an illustrious career. 20 years, all right, with the WWE. It's been a crazy ride, bro. And people are arguably, it's crazy because someone like that has been so impactful to a sport and is arguably a GOAT in a lot of people's eyes, right? We're seeing him finally take the ring for the last time, bro. And I don't know how to feel about it. I'm a big John Cena fan. I had wrestling. I had WWE Here Comes the Pain was the first game he was in. I had WWE vs. SmackDown 2006, which was the best John Cena version. People can argue 2010, 2016. No, 2006 was the best game he was in. I had those games, bro. And to see him go from a jobber is what we call in the wrestling term someone that is like just working a match, right? Not going to get any push. From going to a jobber to a freaking global icon. What do you think about this? And how do you feel about John Cena entering the ring for the last time?
Bruh, I genuinely I'm actually pretty this is impact. This is a little bit sad seeing John Cena retire. Bruh, I was thinking about it this week and I went, this is the best preparation I could possibly have for when LeBron retires. That's the equivalent for me. Because when you got these dudes that you've been growing up with, John Cena, like WWE, everyone remembers when you were a kid watching WWE, bro. Like, we all watched it. The John Cenas, the HBKs, the Triple H's. But the one that stood out the most for everyone was John Cena. Because whether you liked him, whether you hated him, bruh, hey, you like John Cena, bro. Like, John Cena was that guy for so long. And then to see him then delve into the Hollywood world, then you get to see him again, even more connect with them a different way. But, hey, these superstars, you connect with them a different way. And, bro, John Cena, hey, give him all the credit in the world. I've been a fan since 2005. I'm still a fan in 2025. Hey, when I hear that song, Go for the Last Time, hey, I'll be there. Like that, bro. I'll be there. I don't care, bro. Hey, I'll be there right there.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, bro. So, is John Cena the greatest WWE superstar ever? And we just didn't appreciate it until now. So, is he one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time? And where would you put John Cena if you're making a case?
For my list all time, John Cena's number one. But again, it depends how you're doing it.
I respect
because
that.
if you're talking about in-ring performers, okay, he's not going to be number one. I'd put guys like Shawn Michaels over him. I'd put guys like CM Punk over him. Like, those guys as in-ring performers. those guys would be above him. But if we're talking about the total body of work, the in-ring work alongside with you gotta be good as an entertainer. And John Cena on the mic, brother, that is off the cuff. Like, I remember this dude standing toe to toe with The Rock. And remember, we always used to think The Rock was a cappella, was doing this. And he goes, hey, I don't gotta read off the wrist like you do. And he goes, what?
I remember that shit too.
Yeah. And then the stuff with Roman Reigns when WWE was trying to push Roman Reigns as the face. And then Roman Reigns comes up to him. And John Cena goes, bro, you're not like this on the mic. I'm like that on the mic. Flames him. Roman Reigns could do nothing. So that's why I say when you combine everything together, which is entertaining the fans with your performances, but then also entertaining the fans with the way that, again, you get people invested into your storylines. No one could do it better than John Cena. That's why when you say who's the greatest WWE superstar ever, John Cena. Every day.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm not even gonna argue with you. I've heard so many from friends, from family, that have been watching wrestling for 40 plus years. I know someone that's been watching wrestling for 40 plus years, and he has John Cena on his top 5. So I can't even go against you. I have John Cena in my top 5. I don't have him as number 1, but he's top 5. I think if you're a wrestling fan, I think you're stupid if you don't put him on your top 10. John Cena, when he stepped into the WWE for the first time, I thought he was a joke. I seen him with when he started getting his name out there, he had the big chain, he had the jersey, usually a Celtics jersey, I don't know why. Bro, it was something different that we saw from wrestlers, right? Wrestlers before, we would see, the casual ring attire, maybe some trunks and some boots. No, this dude came out in some Jordans, some baggy jeans, some long ass jerseys. And I think he's not only one of the greatest wrestlers, but I think he's one of the best trendsetters in wrestling. And yeah. I think he doesn't get enough credit for being a trendsetter. Let me ask you this. When you think of WWE champions, where is John Cena on your list for WWE champions for the best title runs? Where would you put him?
Man, he's in the top 5, I'd say. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm glazing John Cena, bruh, that's how much of a fan I am. I would almost want to put him number 1. But to be unbiased, that Roman Reigns title reign was crazy. I think that was like nearly 2 years, probably even
2
more.
years.
Roman Reigns was unbelievable. Triple H had some unbelievable reigns as well. I think the one where he carried it through WrestleMania was pretty cool. I think WrestleMania 25. I would say CM Punk's one was pretty good as well.
CM Punk had a good run.
John Cena top 5. I'm confident enough to say John Cena top 5. Top 5. I might even say top 2. There's only one I'd put above him, which is probably Roman Reigns or CM Punk, but not both. So John Cena top 2 for sure.
Yeah, I'm putting him top 2 too. I'll put Roman Reigns number 1, which we're gonna talk about it another time. He shouldn't have been the champion for that long. We'll talk. That's another topic for another day. John Cena is definitely 1 or 2. I think when he was the champion, he defended it so many times, bro. He was going all over the world. He was going to Saudi Arabia. He's going to Dubai. He's defending it everywhere. This is why we have to really look into his career as one of the greatest. And I don't know. I don't care what these old heads are saying. I don't know if I'm considered one. But we need to really look at what he's done for the business. Merchandise. He's one of the, top 3 best when it comes to merch being sold. When it comes to promos, he's top 3. When you're top 3, top 5 in every category, you're in the conversation for greatest of all time. So I would have to agree with that. All right.
Well, I'll ask you a quick question real quick.
Go ahead,
you said John Cena was your top 5. I want to hear who's your rest of the top 5 and who's number 1 for your WWE superstar?
People, listen to me. This list changes but they're in the top 5 always. All right. So as of today, right now, Saturday, I'm feeling Stone Cold is number 1 for me. Okay. Number 2, I'm gonna say Bret Hart. Number 3, I'm gonna go with The Undertaker. Number 4 is where it gets tricky. Because I want to throw Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns. I also like The Rock. They're cousins, their family. One has to stay in, one has to go. Because that 5th spot's for John Cena. I'm going to put Roman Reigns. Sorry, Rock.
Okay.
And then 5, I'm going to put John Cena.
Okay. Damn, that's a good top 5,
It's
bro.
a tough list. Let me hear yours. Let me hear yours.
My top 5, I would have Cena. I would have HBK, Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. I love HBK. Randy Orton, especially 2009 Randy Orton. Undertaker. Then I would probably say number 5.
Stone Cold, not Stone Cold, son. The Rock?
The Rock, but
Stone Cold?
Nah, because of how I still do it to this day, bro. Smash the Bears, Stone Cold. Put Stone Cold on my number 5.
That's savage. When I used to drink, I drink wine and other stuff, but when I was drinking beer, I would do the Smash.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. All right, that's a good list. That's a good list.
That's a good list, bro. We didn't roll these out. Yeah, we'll roll these out. People need to see what this top 5 look for us. I think so.
All right. Now we're going to go to Just Heat, guys. Just Heat is a section where we talk about a random top 5. We give you 2 random top 5. And since it's Cena's last time we'll see him in the ring, I hate to say that, bro. Since it's Cena's last time we'll see him in the ring, we're going to keep it WWE top 5. So, bro, I really want to hear your top 5 John Cena moments of all time.
Okay. Let me hit you with it, bro. Just Heat. John Cena top 5 moments. So at number 5, John Cena gets drafted to Raw. He was on SmackDown for a hot minute. He comes over to Raw. Chris Jericho announces it. That's my number 5 because, again, Raw is where this man started to make his legacy. Number 4, I've got John Cena beating, to me, probably his number 1 or number 2 biggest rival, Edge. In Edge's hometown, Unforgiven 2006. Tables, ladders, and chairs match. That's my number 4. He stunned the whole city. Number 3, John Cena becomes WWE champion at WrestleMania. Beats John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL. That's my number 3 because remember after that, John Cena revolutionized that WWE belt. That's when we got the spinny belt. So, big moment right there for pop culture. Number 2, they said it was once in a lifetime. It was twice in a lifetime. The second time, John Cena, WrestleMania 29, beats The Rock in that second match, becomes WWE champion. That's my number 2. But my number 1, from entrance to finish, WrestleMania 25, John Cena. He comes out. There is like 50 John Cenas lined up, all going, you can't see me, as he walks down. Unreal. And then that's a triple threat match. Him, The Big Show, and Edge. The finishing sequence. He's got 500 pounds, Big Show. That's not it. Put Edge 225 pounds on top as well. 775 pounds this man was carrying on his back. They call it attitude adjustment. No. That's the FU. That's how I grew up. FU is what they call it, bro.
Thank you.
Exactly. Puts him over the top. Edge on top of the Big Show. 1, 2, 3. Becomes champion. That's my number 1.
Yeah. Woo! That's a tough list. Ooh, okay. My John Cena moments of all time. I actually got Cena versus The Rock, WrestleMania 29. I got that at number 5. I got number 4. I got Cena returns to the Royal Rumble in 2008. I remember I was going crazy. All right. I got number 3. I got Cena versus Kurt Angle, which is kind of a low-key match to a lot of people, but anybody can tell you Kurt Angle is one of the best wrestling technicians. I thought that was a great match. Okay, at number 4, I got Cena versus AJ Styles at the 2017 Royal Rumble. Now, I'm not a big fan of AJ Styles because I kind of think he's a wannabe at sometimes, but we can argue AJ Styles has one of the best AWE careers. Um, and it was a great match. I did not expect it to go the way it did. So I'm gonna put that. And then number one, bro, you said it, man. WrestleMania 25. You have a bunch of Cena's out. Which one is which? And then you have that phenomenal match where he picks up Big Show and Edge and he dumps them like nothing. That man is strong. The fact that he was able to squat them and then drop them is probably the greatest John Cena moment of all time. Definitely. I definitely like your list, bro. Okay.
Love it. Good list. I like that list. I like that list.
Now we go into another one. So give me your top 5 WWE returns that made you scream.
Damn. I got it. Let's go. WWE returns to my top 5. Number 5, Brock Lesnar comes back Monday Night Raw. And it featured our boy John Cena. John Cena was in the ring. Brock Lesnar had me back for a minute. Brock Lesnar returns on Raw. That's my number 5. Number 4, I've gone Triple H coming back at SummerSlam. Torn his quad. He was gone for a minute. He came back. He faced Booker T that match. Unbelievable return. So that's my number 4. My number 3, I went Edge coming back at the Royal Rumble because Edge, they said that his career was over, said he was never going to wrestle again, and then all of a sudden, Royal Rumble, we're here, you think you know me. And I'm like, what the, you know? So that's number 3 for sure. Number 2, you talked about it before. John Cena returns at the Royal Rumble. That is on my number 2 right there. But then my number 1, The Rock coming back in 2011. The biggest pop I've ever heard, in WWE. Because all we had for like 2 months straight was, we're going to announce who the host of WrestleMania is. And we were all wondering, who's going to be. All of a sudden you hear The Rock's music pop. That was it. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, that 2011 return is, we'll go on it. All right, let me do mine. Number 5, I have the Hardy Boys returning at WrestleMania 33. Son, come on. How do you forget that? Hardy Boys, WrestleMania 33. You say The Rock's pop was big? This is a big pop. And it has no candle towards The Rock in 2011. But I remember that pay-per-view specifically. I'm gonna go the Triple H quad injury, 2002, coming back to play to go against Booker T at SummerSlam. I'm gonna say that. And then number 3, Shawn Michaels returns in 2002, a little bit before you started watching. But let me explain something. Shawn Michaels, and I'm glad you put him on your list. Shawn Michaels from the 90s till, I would say, from 96 to 98 was probably one of the greatest runs we've seen. And for him to come back in 2002, and arguably his career was better, they said, when he came back. I think that was one of the best comebacks of all time. And then number 2, here's where it gets tricky. I was kind of debating number 2, but number 2, because I wanted to put The Undertaker on there, but he doesn't make this list for returns. Number 2, I'm going to put Stone Cold Steve Austin. Comes back in 2000 and destroys everybody at the Royal Rumble. One of the greatest pops I've ever seen. Stone Cold comes in the ring. He stunners everybody. He's not a part of this team. He's not part of that team. I think was one of the best pops I've ever seen. And then, of course, number 1, you said it, man. The Rock in 2011. After all those crappy movies he did in Hollywood, we did not expect him to make an incredible turn. You know what the crazy part is?
Yeah.
One thing that I try to like grasp is you have the best promos in WWE history. Why does that not translate over to your acting? That
Well,
is something.
I thought
He's a bad
the Fast and
actor,
Furious
man.
appearances. There were some pretty good ones, but as an actor, it's almost like the same role that we see every single time, where it's just like the big, bulky, tough guy who's like every single time. That's what he's been. But I will give him some love. The new movie, the Mark Care one, he's actually acting in that one a little bit, so
Did
I'll
you
show
see
The Rock
it?
some love.
It didn't come in yet.
I
Did
haven't
it
seen
come
it
out?
yet. I haven't seen it
Okay.
yet, but I've just seen the reviews, and I only saw the extended clip that they showed on one of the UFC previews. It was like 10, 15 minutes long. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. But again, it's not really this. I'm not trying to watch that, bro. I'll be real. Hey,
Yeah.
give me The Rock in an action movie. I'm not trying to watch.
Yo, I'm
Yeah.
tired of The Rock, bro. I'm tired of The Rock. I can only name 3 good movies he was in, and he's been in like 20. And it's the movies that he wasn't steroid buff looking dude. He was in Pain and Gain. He was like the crack fiend. I don't know if you've seen Pain and Gain with Mark
I've seen
Wahlberg.
Pain and Gain. Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
Gridiron Gang. He's the football coach.
Yeah.
And then I would say the Fast 5, which I don't even think he should have been in the series. I think it ruined it. But I don't know, man. I just never understood. You have one of the greatest promos, and then you go to Hollywood, and it's like, what the fuck, man? And you keep giving us sequels that we don't want. We don't want another Jumanji. We don't want another one. I do not want to see another Jumanji.
Hey.
Hell, bro,
Sure
I don't want to see you in another superhero movie. I don't want to see it. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Black Adam. Hey, much love, Dwayne.
Black Adam was garbage.
Black Adam was. Hey, that was not it.
Garbage. Rampage, the movie with that white gorilla. Garbage. Rock is like 0 for 20 in movies, dog.
Oh,
listen, guys, I don't want to bash on this man, but yo, that is another episode for Just Talking Sports. My homie P Talk Sports. Y'all can go follow him on YouTube, Instagram, and on TikTok. Catch his live, guys. All right, he's always debating stuff on his live. You can catch him. NBA topics, any type of topics when it comes to sports. Y'all go follow that man. Just a Thought Podcast. This is Just Talking Sports. My homie P Talk Sports. This is Ray Swaby. We're out, man.
Catch you later. Yo.
That was